Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to an exciting and everything and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, ImperialDane, the one, the only master propaganda hero, like defender of the fatherland, off here to a 1v1 on Taranto Coastline. In the southwest stands, Quack fighting here for the United States Army, the 82nd Airborne, backed up by elements of the 41st Infantry. Combined task battle group here. The South Korean player who's roughly, I think, currently in the top 50 for the Americans. And these stands the ImperialDane himself, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland, here with the Hammer-Göring Fallschirm Panzerdivision, 2nd Panzergrenadier Company. Pioneering northwards, pioneering southwards. We got the infantry company up with Grenadiers Lane, and I, of course, go for Breakthrough. And for a map like Taranto Coastline, I do go for a slightly different build order than I normally go for. Where normally I go for 3 Grenadiers with MP40s and an MG42. On Taranto Coastline, I always go for 4 Grenadiers straight away because I tend to find myself struggling a bit more getting the machine gun in at least sort of early on here on this map, particularly on this side of the map, in part due to this particular fence, which is easy to overlook if you sort of use this angle. It's hidden behind the hedges there, so there's more incentive for me at least to go for just Grenadiers with MP40s. But as always, a big hearty thanks to my Patreon supporters and their generous and contributions there on Patreon. Big thanks to all these wonderful people in the south here. Pioneers moving forward, got a route squad here moving in from Quack, also worth knowing. He's gone for Airborne, of course, with double Pathfinders. It's a bit more popular build as of late. Pathfinders, of course, while not quite as powerful now, they have to upgrade for the utility package. That is all the stuff they can sort of fire off. They're still pretty like decent infantry, but also it can still grab territory very fast, allowing to really push for early map control here. So yeah, there's been a return to more players going for these Pathfinder openings with Airborne, just not 4 Pathfinders, just 2 of them, mixed up with some riflemen and then typically some paratroopers down the road. Bit of a fun note there. Heading northwards here. A roll, and this, of course, is a thing I've noted several times, but it's well noted now. Again, on Taranto Coastline, I tend to focus more on the north side of the map. That is typically actually how we want to play it. If you get too dragged in the south, you risk losing a lot of resources, but also like simply outmaneuvered by a sharp opponent. First shots fired here. Grenadiers catching the Pathfinder shot over here. Robert and Jenkins there taking a few nasty hits here. Pathfinder squad down to almost half health already. Grenadiers posting in, staying concentrated, focused. Third Grenadier squad almost done. I can also, in theory, start upgrading with MP40s. Up north, Pioneers advancing steadily here. Grenadiers, Pathfinders all converging. We can see here that Quack is getting ready for a pretty big push here against me. Almost got this eliminations point. Third Grenadier squad arriving, getting the MP40s there upgraded. Flanking around here. Gonna turn this position against me since they're gonna have the height advantage here, but also be cover. And here I actually make a mistake. I charge in my Grenadiers that engage him head on, which allows me to surround me on both sides. That said, it doesn't go completely rubbish, as he actually goes extensive with the Pathfinders, keeps them around for too long, and I actually have a small chance of scoring a white P. Do I get it? Yes, I do. I am forced to retreat, but ultimately, even lose the ground T, getting a white P does hurt my opponent early game, in particular since it does slow down his ability to control the map with otherwise high capture speed. Also got Pioneers running around here. In this case, I'm not going to grab the fuel point. I'm just going to move on to the next one to render that neutral. Like, I'm just trying to hurt his economy as much as possible. The MP40 Grenadiers, I think, got sent southwards here. 4th squad almost done. And infantry support sent up here for my opponent. We got a 3rd route squad making sure I deal with the Pioneer there as they run around making a mockery of, you know, United States territorial integrity. Pioneers here, forced to retreat, but again, the job has been done. I've hit both his fuel points here, which should hopefully have an impact on his tech. And he's moving ahead here. Next move will be going for the infantry officer quarters for me, for that way getting the fast veterans you won, and of course, more crucially, also having to get to 32 and 33 faster. So, if you are going for like Breakthrough, which again is my favorite battle group, and you're going for a lot of MP40 Grenadiers like I am, you definitely want that infantry officer quarters up as soon as possible. More funding up here because the opponent there, Quack, trying to return the favor, hitting my fuel point in return. Obviously, a sensible move there by opponent. Grenadiers putting forward here. We got more MP40s on the way. Closing in, there we go. More MP40s, rifle sent packing, and there you go. Veterans you won. Of course, also benefits my Pioneers. So suddenly, I have now 6 Veterans 1 units. That's pretty decent. That is pretty decent. Here's the Grenadiers. That means, of course, free healing, but also some nice bonus there that makes them a bit hard to hit. It also just improves their accuracy as well. For the Pioneers, similar there as well, plus they can capture territory faster, so that makes your Pioneers able to just harass. In the south here, though, we got paratroopers on the Pioneers here. 82nd Airborne starting to drop in some of those paratroopers, and suddenly he's pushing hard on infantry as well here with some more elite infantry that is also fairly tough here, particularly considering how quickly you can call them in. They are easily some of the most tough elite infantry for that course in particular as well here. Toss in also the BA upgrade here being timed as well here. My opponent is now swinging hard here versus me and the German army. Grenadiers closing on both sides here, but getting flanked by Riflemen in return here. Situation is definitely heating up here. Revving through the Riflemen here, popping to the nearby building. Taking a lot of damage though, and here I go for Grenade Assault, the Stielhandgranate. He dodges it, of course, and I probably shouldn't have bothered with that at all. In fact, I end up making a big mistake, which cost me one of my MP40 Grenadiers. So, great kill here from my opponent, great engagement. Not only did I just wait 45 munitions, meaning less MP40s, I lost one of my MP40 Grenadier squads. So, this was a really bad engagement for me on several sides, honestly. Got the northern point here. Riflemen pushing forwards, and in the south the opponent's also making good progress with no response from me. Moving on munitions point. This is actually pretty bad because, again, their strategy is fairly munitions intensive. So my opponent here making the smart move, of course, in hitting the munitions. Well, obviously you want to deny fuel, but versus someone with a lot of Grenadiers, he's clearly going to push with MP40s on. Hitting the munitions is very smart here. We got an air drop squad here as well. There is 2 paratrooper squads here, so my opponent's now gone from, well, 3 to about 5, and if you toss in the captain as an infantry squad as well, there I believe he's up to a total of 6 infantry squads. And then he still has the Pathfinders. That is a lot of infantry on the field in general, and a lot of map control here. We've got a Stielhandgranate off here. Again, pushes away the Ralph squad, but does delay, of course, further my additional MP40s. I'm actually going for more Panzergrenadiere because I do need some assault infantry here. Something perhaps a bit tougher, though, of course. Maybe I should have just gone for more Grenadiers here. That's a good question. Overall, an interesting debate to have. Grenades here again. Because my Grenadiers definitely in bad spot here versus these paratroopers with M1 carbines. Low on health. They are very much one forced retreat. More Grenadiers arriving. But yeah, I'm definitely making mistakes, I think, chucking so many grenades so liberally when I'm still in need of more MP40s. And honestly, the munition shortage is one reason I'm actually going for a Panzer Grenadier here. Charging forwards here, but now excellent map control from my opponent here again, just flying the field with more infantry, and crucially again, a bit more elite infantry is of course very nice here for him. Grenade goes off, they actually run into it somehow, costing me a lot of men. North here, the Grenadiers keep firing us the paratroopers. And there you go, forced to retreat. I do manage to get a bit more fuel lead over my opponent, but that's about it. And I can soon push for the Sturmgeschütz, but overall, good pressure here from Quack and the 82nd Airborne. Captain also hard at work here. Of course, we'll have to see what he goes for in terms of upgrades for the paratroopers. Some players are going to just go for hard bazookas. Others, of course, might mix up the machine guns and bazookas, as others would go for a lot of light machine guns. And right now, looking at the situation, a lot of light machine guns could be pretty good, though. Obviously, seeing the Panzer Grenadiers at this point, so I'm expecting a Stug, and he's getting some bazookas, would be very sensible. Also, quick merge here on the Panzer with the Grenadiers to quickly just get them up to full strength back in action. Mechanized assault groups being prepared here in reserve for Svaziland. Yeah, getting swarmed here with Riflemen moving in to assist the captain here. I can't hold the position here and will be forced to retreat. Meanwhile, big swing here, paratroopers pushing northwards there. South trying to push forwards and of course get the munitions back. Pioneers being used for this, as of course they are quite good at capturing territory. Well, decent at least. That mentions one bonus. Sturmgeschütz in the way. Big engagement up north here. Riflemen occupying valuable terrain here. Not the best engagement for me here, and of course worth noting his Riflemen have to go with the double bars in most cases, which causes even worse news for my Grenadiers. So really strong push here from the Americans. Absolutely just countless German troopers here dying while doing next to no damage here versus these veteran double-barred Riflemen. They just cannot match them. Moving in to occupy at least the house here. Denied to my opponent and far away at him. Hope to slow him down a bit here. In the south, bit of harassment as well here. Paratroopers counter-attacking rapidly.
The enemy has taken a victory point.
Stug almost done. rather than taking some minor casualties here, as they're not quite as good at dealing with the dug-in troops, at least. Getting the other fuel point here. Again, just Quack here exerting potent map control here. Paratroops moving forwards here. Veterans you want already. Might even go for that veteran vulnerability, which allows them to grab territory faster. So, again, could further then add to the strong map control he's got going. Sturmgeschütz pushing northwards, though again, munition shortage here remains a potent issue. And I can't even upgrade my Stuke with the Pinomat machine gun, which is otherwise quite crucial, honestly. Actually in a top spot still here. We got up here, though, actually 2 Grenadiers. The MP40's the Rival Squad here. Point the Grenadiers do have a bit of an edge. This is why it's important to get that Veterans 1 bonus in the MP40 Grenadiers going fast, because it allows you to, that way, you know, get them to Veteran 2 faster, which is typically where they do have a good chance versus the Riflemen. It's one reason I'm actually not so big on Panzer Grenadiers at the moment, because even you push for Veterans 1 fast for them, with that upgrade there, you just don't get them fast enough to Veteran 2 to really contest the Riflemen with our bars. And here we go, we do get the bazookas upgrades here for Quack. In fact, both squads are equipped here with double bazookas, so they do still have some anti-infantry with the carbines, but not as much as, say, you know, they're going for light machine guns here. So he's clearly concerned about the Stug and more Stugs inbound. Sensibly, of course. And of course, for now, I don't really have a lot of, like, upgraded infantry, again, with MP40 Grenadiers here, so it's still a pretty good choice there, but say it were to get more MP40 upgraded Grenadiers going, or a Starstorm calling here, these might struggle a bit more. Center there, we got Riflemen there with Pathfinders leading forwards here. I'm just struggling to, like, push forwards to slow down the victory point bleed here, buy time, and my MP40 Grenadiers are basically leading the effort at the moment here. And in this case, I'm actually going for an MG42 simply because I'm feeling the pressure so much here. I actually figure, you know what, I am going to need an MG42. My opponent's got so much infantry in the field. I mean, he's got 3 Rifle Squads, the 2 paratroopers, and the captain. Never mind the Pathfinders. So that's a lot of infantry here. And so far, most of it is, you know, of high quality than mine as well. So, that very much presents a significant challenge for me. Stug fixed up. He's gaining some terrain here and there, and again, just looking to slow down my opponent's advance, and again, make sure he doesn't snowball into something very uncomfortable for me. Panzer being surrounded by double-barred Riflemen. Definitely not an engagement they're going to win. And they're very much forced to withdraw. Stug trying to hold the bazooka paratroopers there. Rockets flying at it. There we go. Got better damage. Stug already down to half health here. Machining of everything for the Pathfinders, going for the paratroopers. Steady advance here. More German infantry arriving here to stabilize the scene here for the Hermann Göring Fallschirm Panzerdivision, a Luftwaffe Panzer Division for those questioning. Yes, that did exist. One of Hermann Göring's pet projects. Grenades off here. Grenadiers about to get hosed out, but they do narrowly dodge it. Paratroopers, they're taking some heavy damage. This could actually be a wipe here on Quack, which would be certainly great for me, and less great for my opponent. There survives narrowly. The sturdiness of the Paris are definitely coming them to great benefit. My god, how do you survive, man? Well, I am tough, but my buttocks are even tougher. Up north there, I'm going to push for the fuel point here. Stug falling back for repairs. And now called in the Starstruppen. The even more elite infantry here. Obviously, I like them, but versus, you know, a lot of Riflemen paratroopers, the addition of Starstruppen will provide me, you know, something a bit more hard-hitting here. Put on them. Catching the Rifle Squad here on the victory point the south here. Closing in with the MD-42 and the G-35 routing the Yankees. In the south here, Hunters there trying to outmaneuver the captain. Pathfinder pushing forward into the Starstruppen here. Bit of artillery here on the southern field point. Machine gun in the center here. Rom just trying to be as aggressive as possible in some regards, try and pressure my opponent and just push for map control. And not like giving too much breathing room here. There we go. Starstruppen have it. Also, at this point, I do need to consider a medical station. Both for the Starstorm and my Panzer Grenadiers are very low and healthy, honestly, and it's just going to be a waste of manpower at this point to fight with the Americans with.
The enemy is stealing our territory from us.
And is pushing forwards. Back here, fresh lines being formed up here for Quack. And we also got the tank depot pulling for even heavier stuff. We also got the MP40 Grenadiers here eastern of our way, popping into the half track for a mechanized infantry assault. Rushing northwards, note armoured half-techs were typically only part of a panzer division, typically the 1st battalion of a panzer division. Of course, there would be exceptions for various reasons. So, little fun fact there. By the way, charging forwards here. Grenade off here in the half-track. It does also mean he's not focusing on the MP40 Grenadiers, meaning they can actually do a lot of damage to riflemen. That really, you know, taking any returns. This works out well for me, and the half-track can just fix up the damage. Also got the Starstorm here, and suddenly my opponent's taking a lot of damage here. Again, he stuck around for too long, got a bit baited into the engagement here. There's even a chance that the Starstorm can wipe them, because the Starstorm are surprisingly good at hitting retreating units, and that way scoring wipes here and there. Meanwhile, big paratroop push into the MU-42 team here, clearly not expecting it there. An entire infantry assault here from the 82nd Airborne with elements of the 41st Infantry Division are being ripped apart here as the MU-42 go nuts. We do get a boost here from the cap, but it's not enough. Grenades off Stug charging in, Starstorm attacking as well here. It's a slaughter for the center here. Infantry on both sides pushing forwards. MU-42 team falls back, but now we got the Starstorm there to take over the duty. Stug's there, bouncing off some shots from the parrot from the bazookas. Grenadiers pushing forwards. Panzer attack from the other side here. Paratroopers forced withdraw as well here. Being behind their mates, dead in the dirt. The Starstorm are already to one of 8 kills. Panzer's there with 5 kills. And so there's one thing I've noticed is that Starstorm definitely work better versus riflemen with bars than Panzer Grenadiers. In that sense, there's a sort of sense that, you know, with Grenadiers and 40 kind of looking to go under the rifleman. With Starstorm, I say Fudge makes looking to go over them. Panzer Grenadiers just can't really do either, and they sort of, I find, tend to just get beaten up by them a lot of the time without really doing too much in return. Also, finally got the Stug upgraded machine gun gewehr. Very important upgrade. And also starting to get more of my Grenadiers upgraded with the MP40s. Also important. But there you go. M18 Hellcat tank strike for my opponent. An interesting choice, everything considered. Hellcat, or half-dead for some reason, move forwards there. Not entirely sure what happened there, but that was definitely not meant to be there. Either way, it was, and it got destroyed. So easy kill there for my opponent. North here, Grenadiers being swamped with the rifle with the captain backing it all up here. Hellcat withdrawing. But he's clearly worried both about my Stug, but also, you know, probably Tiger tanks. That said, is there much reason to, like, commit to Hellcats right now? I would say, you know, Shermans, and certainly there's an argument he probably should be going for Shermans or just more anti-infantry, because at this point, I now have 5 infantry squads to sort of match his roughly 6, 7, again, depending what you count for his infantry. And crucially, again, some of them are quite elite. There you go, rifle retreating past the Panzers, the Grenadiers, and crucially the Starstorm with shock assault. And that is a full wipe here on Quack. Definitely do not take Starstorm lightly, in particular if they are, you know, threatening a retreat path. They are excellent in getting units there. Pathfinders push back here now with, you know, larger complement infantry and a finally Stugs with the machine guns. I'm starting to push harder back against my opponent's infantry. Down to issues. In fact, I get another wipe here in Quack. And his map control is definitely going to slip from that. Now he's done just, well, 4 to 5 squads. Again, worth noting, 2 of them are Bazooka Paratroopers versus, you know, Grenadiers. That's going to work fine against, you know, MP40 Grenadiers and Starstorm, just for starters. They're going to have a much, much harder time. So, right here, Quack's strategy is running some issues. It was clearly in the sense looking like just throttling me fast. And here we got the Hellcat running right into the 2 Stugs and not even repaired. He failed to get any engineers. Scoring another easy kill there. We got another Hellcat on the way up north. Blenker over there. Didn't quite work out, and they're just retreating here. Don't want to risk it. So they push here from Quack and the United States and the South East Grenadiers pushing up. So now for Quack, of course, the question is what he's going to do besides going for more Hellcats. I mean, obviously versus the Stugs, they're great, but I can't help but feel it ignores that one particular crucial factor
Victory point
which is
lost.
again is like, you know, got a fair amount of like pretty good infantry that can take on his paratroopers quite easily, and his riflemen, you know, becoming a bit extinct. Going for an aggressive push up north there.
Enemy have 300 points
Still
left.
found the machining gewehr. Stukes there blasting away, got one veteran to one. Both crucially now upgraded with the machining gewehren.
Enemy forces have claimed our territory.
Meanwhile, troops forcing healing here. Paratroopers they're lining up for a big push here. South Hellcat there at the ready, and another Hellcat. He's not going for any Shermans whatsoever, which I do find interesting. Again, like, I can understand the logic behind them, but it does feel like he's ignoring a notable part of my force composition here. Sir, we need more tank destroyers. What about the infantry? Don't worry about that. We'll deal with that later.
Victory point is under enemy control.
There you go. Paratrooping caught with the Stugs. Benny's pushing in as well here. Getting blasted by the Sturmgeschütze. Infantry not going to do much here. Everyone underestimates Stugs with the machine guns on. There you go. Paratrooping caught here by a throng of infantry moving up here.
5 command points
That's
available.
one paratrooper squad down. Suddenly, my opponent's infantry is just rapidly dying out here. And so far, he's not doing much to replace it. He's got the double Hellcats. Grenadiere, Panzergrenadiere westwärts hier für das Faserland. Straßen caught here by the Hellcat. Charging at the Stugs here with the Hellcats. In fact, I'm going for a third Stug,
Losing control of the sector.
because I'm obviously concerned about the tank destroyers and other tanks you might go for. One Stug down. Hellcat there down. A lot of explosions here. Stug heavily damaged. Panthers and the Hellcat, they're low health. Here I make a mistake. They're actually sending the Stug that is the most damaged first. Should have sent the other Stug in first, but again, I mess up here. This allows Quack to score an easy kill on my other Stug. And of course, if I hadn't gone for like another Stug here, this would have probably been a win for him, by the way. Like, he probably would have been able to kill out both Stugs and then pull away relatively easy with his Hellcats, but the third Stug obviously represents what is known as a significant issue for him. There you go.
Our adversary is down to 200.
There is two Hellcats down here. Starts from right in the south. Quack, though, and the 82nd Airborne definitely starting to run into more and more issues here. This is the Hammond-Göring Fallschirm Panzerdivision. Initially a Panzer Grenadier Division, which actually saw service in North Africa, was later transferred to Italy, well, rebuilt for Italy, and will later be sent to the Eastern Front. Would fight amongst other places around Warsaw. Big pusher into the MP40 Grenadiers here. Panzer is pushing forwards as well here. Grenades being chucked at the Panzer Grenadier now of HV2. Starting to catch up, of course, once they get there. And at this stage, I'm actually so close to the Tiger tank, I might as well just go for it.
Enemy is down to 200
An opponent
points.
just keeps pushing out Hellcats here, as he at least replaces infantry. The answer would appear to be no.
Ours to deploy. Infantry will
Definitely
not
a
be
bit of a
reinforced
dangerous
without your
oversight by my opponent here. Like at this point, yes, Bessel, he's got a captain. He's not exactly the best elite infantry squad here. Some paratroop bazookas and one rifle squad. He is definitely short on infantry here. We only got the Tiger out, and comparatively, I still have, you know, 5 there, with my only wipe really being that one Grenadier squad with the MP40s.
We shall reinforce all squads that require it.
So, opponent is a fierce fighter, keeps pushing back here for map control, keeps pushing on those points. Definitely not too shabby there. We do finally get a fresh rifle squad out there with BARs on the way there. Very good. Part of me, though, would have maybe figured some paratroopers here with Browning light machine guns. Go. Tiger moving forward, sending from the Schwere Panzerabteilung 504, which was the heavy tank attachment that actually fought in Italy.
The enemy has claimed our territory for their
Most
own.
others were busy on the Eastern Front or later on the Western Front. South Grenadiers, Panzer Grenadiers here, catching a rifle squad here. We do get a grenade from these Ace Riflemen. blowing apart their poor Helmut. The end of the riflemen are absolutely come here and are forced to withdraw. North the attack pushing out in here, backed up with the Starstruppen. Closing in on Betty on these chaps.
Sector now under enemy control.
Still not much there in terms of infantry from my opponent though. We got the one Hellcat. Tiger Tank moving up here, assisted by Starstruppen, or Starstruppen assisted by the Tiger Tank, depending on perspective of course. Pathfinder's been caught in a retreat by the Tiger Tank, and now of course the Starstruppen as well. With that, there's a good chance of wipe. There we go. Pathfinders found their final path. To be perhaps a last push here from Quack, increasingly building up. At least he's trying to stay clear of where my Tiger is and then make progress there, which is certainly a viable tactic. And we got something we airdrop. Will it be anti-tank gun? Will it be paratroopers? Both are certainly a viable option for various reasons. And it's an anti-tank gun.
The adversary is trying to take one of our points.
Dropping in some anti-tank support here to help deal, of course, with my Tiger and my Stug. Crucially, doesn't really fix that one particular issue which continues to be hanging above his head, which is just, you know, my elite infantry.
Territory sector lost.
Getting in some sandbags in case I flank through there. Forwards. There we go, until he called in with the captain. Stug, Tiger, and Rousseau around the center can quick respond to a push here or a push here. I like having some units in a sort of a reserve position we can respond to if need them. Not something I actually got to flex off a lot in companies. Sibling companies, one I felt like it was a very nice feature to have there again, like, you know, the bits like set units in reserve. But companies, there was never really much reserve going on there. So, Tiger reserve, of course, being unleashed here towards the center. We've got Grenadiers, Panzer coming up here towards the center. Grenadiers setting up here. I'm going to actually go for a flank on its attack here because the map actually allows for this. Due to its, shall I say, time slightly odd-looking nature, it also allows me to set up these flanks as my opponent's focusing on the field here, but I can then move up through here and get behind his forces. East here, Panzer being pushed back here. Grenadiers doing what they can. Could pop some grenade assaults here. He's trying for all them. There we go, flank here, using the sprint of the Grenadiers. Tiger Tank from north here. Captain taking a hell of a hit here. Stug, Tiger pushing in here. Situation here for him is going pretty bad. The captain pretty much got a posthumous promotion there to Major. Anti-tank crew there also absolutely part here. Starstorm getting ready too here. The assault is slicing through him. We do have another Hellcat out here. Arriving just in time. Tiger Tank being flanked here. Heavy damage inflicted by these two well-armed tank destroyers there with the 7.6mm guns. But it is just not enough here. Double Pantherfaust and Hellcat here, leaving its engine out. Another great hit on the Tiger Tank there, but there's still the Stug to contend with. And there goes second Hellcat down. With that, the situation here for him is pretty rough. We do get a airborne strike here. GG, well played from Quack. That is the end here. Is at the end. Let's go into tears before we get the desync stuff. So there you go. A fierce fight here. Good early map control from my opponent. As you might have noticed, again, just, you know, the good timing there between just the bar push, backed up with Pathfinders, then to the paratroop, which allowed me to just get a lot of infantry out. Then when you also factor in the captain, made it very difficult for me to, you know, contend with. Also, again, I made the mistake of just, you know, not upgrading more MP40s faster. Again, I got too caught up in trying to grenade there, waste munitions, obviously, slowed me down there, it made it much harder to fight there. Losing that MP40 Grenadier squad also hurt me, and then maybe I could have gone for some Starstorm faster instead of that Panzer Grenadier squad. Again, there's, you know, a lot of permutation of my actions, but still, as the match went on, I slowly was able to stabilize, and my opponent then, I feel like, failed to adapt to my strategy, and, you know, failed to adapt again to that one particular element of Wehrmacht, which is, they do have a lot of pretty good infantry as the match goes on. Perhaps again, the Panzers just feel like just aren't quite good fits versus barred up riflemen. quick note there. But our way again, no light machine gun paratroopers, didn't replace his losses of the Bronx rifleman either. But also like his heavy emphasis on Hellcats when he probably should have gone for some Shermans first and then backed up with Hellcats. I feel like was another element that sort of ultimately, I think, cost Quack the match here. But still, you know, nice fight here, fairly intense and a good highlight again, you know, why I like Breakthrough. Got the MP40 Grenadiers with fast threats as well. There's the officer quarters perform well, and of course you get the Star Store Boom. Easily one of my favorite units in the game. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. Hope it gives you matches. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment, tell a friend, tell a family, but don't be enemies. And if you like what the Propagandacast does, you can donate or pledge on Patreon. Links in the description. This is ImperialDane saying cheers and see you all tomorrow for another episode. Bye.